Alright, yo, have you seen this quote-unquote update or buff to Hanzo that they did? Like, this is the most out of the... What? Are you serious? Like, I never had... I mean, let me read the buff before I go on this rant. Alright, the buff says, developer comment, it says, the Dragon Strike ultimate hasn't been very effective outside of being used in a combo with other abilities that restrict enemy movement. That's true. That's the only way that I've been able to use it to do any like good effect. I used to be able to like get behind a whole group of people, hit his ultimate, and get some kills, but now I can't even do that anymore. So we're increasing its speed to help position it as less of a zoning tool and more likely to deal some damage. Now, even when I was using it to get damage, people were always telling me, don't use it for damage. Hanzo's ultimate is not for damage. Hanzo's ult is to move people out of the way and to push them into other things. And I was cool with that. It was cool that I was able to use his ultimate in a way that people didn't normally use it and get a team wipe, you know, every so often. I could post it as a short or TikTok or a clip or something like that on Twitter. But, you know, I've come to terms with it that it's okay. Now, when I saw that Hanzo was going to get a buff, I finally got excited because I was so disappointed whenever they, well, I call it a nerf, but when they buffed everybody's health, I was like, what are they doing? Why are they doing that? They're making it to where Hanzo is going to be pointless now. It's going to be like whenever you see somebody use Hanzo, it's going to be like, bro, what are you doing? Why are you using Hanzo? He's trash right now. Don't use him. Pick something else. I'm just a casual player, a sweaty casual at that. I will do some competitive, but I try to stay away from competitive because to do competitive, you have to, you know, switch characters and everybody wants to play counter watch and everything like that. I mean, me personally, I think that when you start playing the game, you shouldn't be allowed to switch. That's just me. I don't, or maybe just allowed one switch and then you can't switch anymore because it's super frustrating for me whenever I'm using Hanzo and the other person is using their chosen DPS. This is what they chose to start the game with. That means this is maybe they're learning how to use the character. I realize that that's also a possibility too. Because, you know, whenever I play quick play, sometimes I do want to play other characters and see how well I am with them. Like, I'll play Tracer sometimes, but for the most part, I feel like on a majority of the games that I play, when people are trying to play for real, people are trying to win or whatever the case may be, they go in with the character that they think they are the best with. And then, you know, whenever I'm using Hanzo and they're using the character that they think they are the best with, like, for instance, when they come in with Widow, all right, they're coming in with Widow, the other DPS, and they get smoked with Widow, and then because they're getting smoked with Widow, they start switching characters. And I'm not talking about they'll switch to one character and that's the character. They start switching, and then they eventually settle on Sombra. That's the DPS cure-all to save all ass, is just to switch to Sombra, and I wish you DPS would really stop doing that. Stop using that clutch ass, that character as a crutch, is what I mean to say, because it's stupid. What do you want to run around and... Okay, anyways, and rant over on Sombra. Sorry I went off on that tangent. The thing I want to talk about is this buff. When I saw that Hanzo was going to get a buff, I got super excited. I was like, good. So now maybe Hanzo will be viable again. Maybe I'll be able to one-shot headshot some people. And no, there's no one-shot headshots, and it's just frustrating. It almost makes me feel like they don't want you to use Hanzo. Right? It feels like they are just driving you towards using other characters. Is it because that Hanzo's have been a little bit too popular? I mean, it's crazy to me to think that they're doing something that would make people not want to play the game, because there are a community of us out there, very few, I guess, but there are a community of us out there that only like to play as Hanzo. That's it. That's all we play. And there are some people who don't like to use Widow when they want to use a sniper. They want to use Hanzo because he's exotic. He's different. I feel like Hanzo is just very fun to use. And they buffed him in just the wrong way with this, and I think this is very dumb. What needs to be buffed on Hanzo is he needs to have a increase in his damage. Maybe not all of his damage. Maybe just increase his headshot damage from a certain range. I think that would be good, because it is super like unsatisfying to where I'm in the back and I'm raining down hell and ass on the enemy team, and the teammates, the random teammates that you get, they're not going to be the best all the time, right? And they're going to depend on you. And if you're not doing well, they're going to look for somebody to blame. So whenever I play these random games, I try to make sure that they can't blame me. I'm not the problem. The damage is there. So I try to do my best whenever I do play these games so they can't blame me. So it sucks whenever I choose Hanzo and then they're just like, bro, the Hanzo's the problem. You're not getting picks. And I'm just like, well, I mean, I'm hitting the people in the back and they're getting it. Whenever I hit them, it goes dink. and they just take 90% of their health down, and they run back to their healer, and they get healed up, and then the next thing you know, you've got a Moira that just teleports behind me, and it kill the Mahog, and I'm just like, what the... Bro, and that's another thing that what I think needs to happen, right? I get it. When Hanzo was created back in 2003, 2005, whenever this game was created, they gave him a double jump, and double jump was all he needed back then. But now they have characters that literally go under the ground and come out of the ground with extra health, mind you, defense, whatever, it makes it harder for them to be hit, and you've got characters that really teleport around you, and not only do they teleport, they have a this is so batshit crazy, bro. Listen to this, and I know you Moira mains are just not going to get it, but just for a second, pretend that you're not a Moira main. Pretend that you are in the shoes of the person that's playing Hanzo, and I get it, it's a skill issue, you don't use Hanzo then. I understand all that, all right? Just believe me, I do. I get it, because I tell people the same crap whenever they get dealt by me. It's like, oh, well, don't use that character then, use somebody else. But you can't tell people that because this is who they want to use. And I get it. You guys want to use Moira, but I think you're using Moira for the wrong reasons. She can teleport. She has a damage orb. She has a healing orb that literally floats around her, keeps her alive. Damage orb floats around you, gives you damage. She holds the button down, or just presses the button, and it locks on to your character and sucks you. She can teleport to God knows where, gets behind you, and continues sucking the life out of you. And do you think she has to reload? No, she doesn't have to reload. So what does Hanzo have? A double jump? Sure, he can climb up walls. That's great. If there's a surface for him to climb up onto, because he can't climb forever, because if he hits something, like if he goes a few meters and there's nothing for him to climb up with, he's going to fall right back down, and he's back into the clutches of the Moira or whoever else. Listen, I think that double jump needs to be reworked. He needs to I don't know what they can give him. But that double jump is not it when you're facing these characters that teleport and go into the ground and just hold the button down, that don't have to reload. It's madness. Give him back his one shot. That was the only thing that he had that was keeping him in the game. And now, there's nothing. There's nothing. It's just, why are you using Hanzo?